This tiny Cyberdeck is detecting me using Wi-Fi. No camera, no IR sensor, no thermal camera. Just Wi-Fi and this deeply cursed little radar screen. Right now, it says contact, which is either extremely cool or the beginning of me wanting to destroy every single piece of networking equipment I have. Your Wi-Fi can see you, which sounds fake. It kind of sounds like something your most paranoid friend would say right before explaining how the feds are listening to him over his microwave. But the crazy part is that the technology is here. Wi-Fi signals are already bouncing all over your house. They bounce off of walls, furniture, doors, your cat, and that weird little flesh bag you call your body. I'm talking Sasquach, and I didn't want to just talk about this theoretical threat. I wanted to try to build a proof of concept myself. I took my M5Stack Cardputer Advanced and I added a dual screen mod to it, and then I wrote my own custom firmware to turn this into a dedicated human presence detector. First, I wanted to see what Wi-Fi human detection's all about, so of course I installed RUView. RUView is one of the most popular human sensing applications out there right now. Using just an application and an ESP32S3 or even one of these ESP32 Super Minis, you can use Wi-Fi alone to not only detect people, but their breathing and their heart rate. So today we're gonna test it. Is this the beginning of some cursed home surveillance, or did I create the world's dumbest ghost detector? Well, let's find out. As always, with projects like this, we want to make sure we're only testing our own environments, and I specifically wrote my firmware so that you have to connect to the Wi-Fi, so you need the credentials for it, so you can't spy on other people. Okay, so before we go into the science of exactly how this thing works, let's switch cameras and take a closer look, because this thing is so freaking cool. This is my Cardputer Advanced custom little Cyberdeck. It came out so good. We 3D printed a case for it. We've got the Cardputer Advanced GPIO hooked up to this TFT screen right here. It's like 2.8-inch TFT screen. It looks so cool. And then I built on top of that a Wi-Fi sensing radar. I think it came out looking really good, but because I'm extra, I made another UI for it. This one's even more fun. So we've got little birds in the background, and you can see, yeah, those are the people that it's detecting right now. I am really happy with how this project came out. And of course, with any of my projects, this is all available on the GitHub for free, so you guys can try this out. I highly recommend putting one of these things together because A, it looks really cool, and 2, it's only $50. It's so cheap. That's everything. Cardputer's 30 bucks. Screen, I got 2 of them for 20 bucks. Find somebody with a 3D printer and you can print something just like this. The 3D files are available. Everything's available. You can make this yourself. So what this is doing is it's using RSSI, or Received Signal Strength Indicator, which more or less just tells me the signal strength this thing's getting. So what happens is, as you're moving through an environment, the Wi-Fi is actually bouncing off of you, and it's changing the RSSI. What this device does is it goes through and tracks the differences in RSSI. And the way it's coded is if somebody is basically within the same signal strength, it will attach it to the same person and it will kind of move around. So there's one person right there, even though we can't really tell direction. When we first set this guy up, we were using this, which is the ESP32S3 dev kit, because that's exactly what RUView used. So I figured, you know, it might be an easy way to port over the project. However, I realized that the Cardputer Advanced, being such an amazing piece of hardware and using an ESP32S3, this can actually do everything all in one. So the ESP32S3 is a dual core MCU, which means we can use one core for the bottom screen and then separate the core for the top screen between the sensing and the screen itself. And we also added in for fun some really simple settings so we can actually change the colorways, which I thought was fun. And super important, I was able to add screen dimming, because if I can't dim the screen, y'all can't see it. So when somebody's moving around, it shows the RSSI right here on this graph where it says contact. So the higher the level on there, the closer someone is, and the lower it is, the further away they are. And if nobody's moving at all, it'll just drop off and say nothing. Now, because I made this myself using Claude, there are some weird buggy things, and I'm still working on it. One of the cool things are, anytime I have projects like this, they are up on my GitHub. But what's cool is that I'm usually still working on this even after I make the video. So just like in my last video where I forked pork chop over to this little guy, there's actually a bunch more features than you even saw on the video. And when this video goes live, there's a good chance there's going to be all new stuff for this firmware. So definitely check it out and make this setup. It's very cool. So I guess the question is exactly how does this work with RUView? Because you can do a lot more than this little guy can do, because remember, there's only one ESP32. And the thing about triangulation is you kind of want to have like 3 different devices to locate things properly. So let's take a look at exactly how RUView works, as well as how Wi-Fi sensing works in general. It's incredibly interesting. Right after this quick segue to today's sponsor, Mint Mobile. Most people think that switching wireless carriers is a complete headache, but Mint Mobile has completely reimagined the experience. It's all online. No stores, no pushy salespeople, just premium wireless that you can activate from your couch using an eSIM. Here's why I'm a fan. Mint uses the nation's largest 5G network, and so when I'm out war driving or testing signals in the middle of nowhere, I'm still connected. Plus, they brought the concept of bulk buying to wireless. You choose your data from 5 gig all the way up to unlimited, and the more you buy up front, the more you save. And if you're worried about your contacts or your own personal device, don't be. You can bring your own unlocked phone, keep your number, and you're good to go. Stop overpaying for wireless just because that's how it's always been. With premium plans starting at only $15 a month, Mint helps you break the traditional wireless cycle. So head on down to mintmobile.com and start saving now for America's largest wireless network. Thank you so much to Mint Mobile for the support. You guys are awesome. All right, let's get back at it. Now, this is RUView. This is in their observatory, which is really, really cool. So it just kind of shows me hanging out in the room, not really doing much. I'm actually going to change this over to, let's do demo generator. It's going to be a little bit more interesting. All right, so here you have a human. Their heart rate is going at 70 BPM. The respiration at 16 whatever RPM is. And what's really cool about this is that's just using the Wi-Fi in order to see them. So this is using CSI, or channel state information. It measures very, very, very small changes in the Wi-Fi, and it can use that to extrapolate all sorts of information and data. You can see these guys walking around here. I mean, they're moving really fast because it's demo, but you can see exactly how useful this information could be. So one of the actual applications they have for this is fall detection, to see if somebody, like an elderly person, has fallen and gotten hurt, as in this demo right here. There are a ton of different applications that they have set up here. So the question is, how does this work? So when a person moves, breathes, or even sits still in a room, they disturb radio waves, and because the human body is largely water, it affects radio waves significantly. CSI data reflects these tiny changes in the fingerprint of the room. Now, while traditional Wi-Fi only cares about whether the connection is fast enough for your data, CSI allows you to treat Wi-Fi signal as a sensor that sees through walls and in total darkness. Now, what's cool about RUView is it allows you to use really cheap hardware. These ESP32 S3s that I'm using were like, I think I got 5 for $20. They're really, really good price. And the other cool thing that RUView does is it actually has AI models. You have training modules, and it will learn more and more and more about how everything works. So the more data you feed it, the smarter and the more accurate it gets. One of the other things we can do is pose fusion. Now, this is going to be kind of fun and super broken. Enable camera. Camera denied. Now, it won't let my actual camera work at the same time as this, but what it's trying to do is use the real-time data to match kind of my pose and stuff like this. It can only see a little tiny bit of me, so it doesn't really work super good. So basically, the AI is trying to figure out exactly what pose I am in my little stick figure. So again, it's not going to work perfectly because I'm not even in the full frame. I got to scooch all the way down here for you guys to even see me. So what's absolutely wild about this whole premise is that there's almost nothing you can do to protect yourself from this. It's completely impossible to stop because Wi-Fi is everywhere. Radio waves are everywhere. They'll go through walls, they'll go through floors, they'll go through almost anything because that's the point. So we've seen it firsthand here today. My little $50 science project effectively can see through walls just using the echoes of your Wi-Fi through the router. It's not science fiction, it's just the reality of modern networking. Now, this technology holds a ton of promise for like elderly care or in hospitals, but the privacy scare is tremendous. Because this sensing layer is baked so deeply into our current technology, it can record your biometric information without a camera, without a lens, and most importantly, without your consent. I built this specifically to show that you don't need a $60 billion government contract, you just need $50 and a little bit of tinkering time, and you can create something that does what seemingly should be impossible. We're moving into a situation where homes are constantly beaming spatial information about your everyday lives. So we have to ask yourself, are we okay with that? I'm not saying that we should abandon innovation, but I really think that we should at least consider what can be done to try to minimize the privacy invasion that technologies like this is, really bringing to the forefront. I want to know where you guys stand. Does this cross the line, or is this just an inevitable reality of modern technology? Drop a comment down below, and if you're working on any of your own rigs, please leave a message down below. I would love to see it. Thank you so much for watching this long. You guys are absolutely incredible. Make sure to smash that like button and like, comment, subscribe, whatever. We'll catch you next time.